What's up, YouTube? My name is Jason, and this is my take. And I'm back. Hope you guys had a great weekend. When you guys see this video, it's actually my birthday when this video posts. So happy birthday to me. And we're gonna kick off my birthday with the review of the new Benny the Butcher album, Tana Talk 4. Benny the Butcher is back with a new album. Griselda rapper from Buffalo, one of the hardest in the game, easily. And this is actually his last album as an independent artist with Griselda, because after this, he will now be on Def Jam. And listen, Benny, just like any member of Griselda, whether it's Conway or Westside Gunn, drops so many albums every year. It's too many to even talk about. But this one specifically is following 2018's Tana Talk 3. Which, in my opinion, is a classic album. It's perfect. Like it just is what it is. Some of the hardest beats from Derringer, Butcha, Alchemist, and Benny just dropping some of the coldest, like toughest, like coke rhymes, gun lines. Like it doesn't matter. Like this dude delivered on all fronts. So seeing that Tana Talk 4 is finally here. I was just excited. I don't know when Benny's just gonna drop a certified classic or just an amazing project, but he always does. He always delivers, and that was no different over here when it comes to Tana Talk 4. Going up against Tana Talk 3, I mean, that's a tough ask for an artist, but while this doesn't feel like a classic like Tana Talk 3, Benny still does what he always does from a lyrical perspective and from a delivery perspective. And on these 12 tracks, Benny is dropping more cold, drug lines, gun bars, reflecting on a couple years ago or a year ago or so when he was shot in Houston, Texas, to reflecting on just where he is and the comparisons that are made to his Griselda members. And let's not waste any time and just jump into the highlights. And I gotta discuss the intro, which was one of the lead-off singles being Johnny P's Caddy, that features J. Cole. Just an amazing beat by the Alchemist, and we see Benny team up with J. Cole for the very first time. He said apparently that they had worked together before in the Revenge of the Dreamers 3 sessions, but that song just never made the cut. I personally would love to hear what that would have sounded like, but if it was anything like this track, I know it was amazing. And man, J. Cole, like I say it all the time, is my favorite rapper, and this is why, man. Like the bars on here were so memorable. Whether it's he gonna meet the wrath of the Reaper, I'll probably go to hell if Jesus asks for a feature, or Eureka, Einstein on the brink of relativity, really no MC equal. Crazy. Another highlight was the song Back 2 Times, or Back featuring Stove Got Cooks. This beat is so minimal by Derringer and Butcher, but that's all Benny needs sometimes. And Benny made it look easy over this instrumental. I'm excited to see another Stove God feature. He came in and did his thing on the hook and a verse, and I really enjoyed this line right here where he says, all the kilos came stamped with a balloon, it's time to party. Driving sixes in the sun with that rocket, I think I'm Barkley. I love the song Weekend in the Perrys featuring Boldy James. And this sample was perfect by the Alchemist. Those chipmunky vocals are just stuck in my head. The drums are minimal and low, but they didn't really need to be there just because of the presence of the sample and how strong it was. And who better to rap over Alchemist Reduction or a track like this than one Boldy James? This is what he does, and this is why him and Alchemist just work so well together and their chemistry is so strong. I really enjoyed the track Tyson versus Ali featuring Griselda member Conway the Machine. The piano rolls on this sample were just chef's kiss, man. And this was a really interesting song as Benny talks about being pitted against Conway on this song and how people always compare them, and Benny himself just doesn't care for that and doesn't understand why two people in the same position in the same lane have to be compared to each other. It kind of reminds me of J. Cole's Middle Child, where he kind of talks about him and Drake and how people just wanted to put them against each other and what was the point. I like how Conway comes in on the second verse and it's kind of giving advice to Benny. And telling him, just don't pay attention to all that noise. Like, you're great. Like, we know what it is. And this is kind of why it's called Tyson versus Ali, because it's like, if Tyson would fight Ali, who would win? But at the end of the day, they didn't. they couldn't, and like it doesn't matter. The song Guerrero featuring Westside Gunn really stuck out to me and Benny's lines. More specifically, parts where he was using the song titles from Tana Talk 3 in his bars. Some examples being, I was barely known, but see I bodied every flow. That's when the rubber bands and weight just made me 97 Hove. Or Joe Pesci, 38 from the movie It's Not a Prop Though. My Dog in County on Echo Lone with an iPhone. My favorite beat on the album might have been Busta Brick Nick. Benny is just rapping, like no hooks, no anything for like 3+ minutes. He absolutely went in. I love this line where he says, too rich to incarcerate me. On charges, them odds are shaky. Feds watch me get an M on TV like I'm Carson Daly. And Mr. Chow Hall was a nice short. Mr. Chow Hall. And Mr. Chow Hall was a nice short closer to the project. And Mr. Chow Hall was a nice short closer to the project. And Benny is reflecting on that time in Houston a year or two ago where he was shot, and just talking about that and, being questioned by the police. He also just reflects on, where he is, his reputation in Griselda. And he kind of summed that up with this line where he says, they say West is the brains, being Westside Gunn. Benny himself is the star. Conway's the silliest with the bars. Honestly, I couldn't agree more. And honestly, I couldn't agree more. That's how I would describe the three of them. On the other side of things, there were a couple tracks that didn't really move me. And I hate to say it, but one of those tracks is 10 More Commandments that's featuring Diddy. This is probably a very unpopular opinion, and I've seen a lot of people have been talking about this song. I hate that it was this track of all tracks, because I really love that Benny is giving homage to Biggie's 10 Crack Commandments from Life After Death, and having Diddy on the track of all people, makes a lot of sense. But it felt a little empty, I feel like I wanted a little more. And sometimes the minimal beats and what Alchemist or like a Derringer gives him works, but this one just felt like a little too empty. And like I said, it was dope, having Diddy on here, but how Diddy was coming in and talking, or ad-libbing while Benny was rapping, it was kind of hard to pay attention. It was he was talking over Benny sometimes. I wish that wasn't the case. He's done this before and it wasn't really crazy, on Suicidal Thoughts, on Ready to Die, as he's kind of talking as Biggie's on the phone. It just felt a little much on this track. And then there's a song, Thowy or Thowy, Towie's Revenge, not sure how to pronounce it. Honestly, I've just never been a fan of this type of flow from Benny, where it's more of a triplet flow, something you would hear over a trap beat. Benny's done it on other songs before, and it just never really does much for me. Sometimes his words are a little off. So I could have done without this track, honestly. But listen, like I said, this is just another dope Benny album. And then, like I said, while it's not Tana Talk 3, this is a solid project. Benny, in my opinion, has never missed. I can't name a bad Benny project. And given the volume in which he drops, it's just amazing still that he can do things like this. I'm excited for, what's new for him being a signed artist now. And, I really hope that Def Jam takes care of him, that he deserves all their attention. And I look forward to seeing what that looks like and if his stardom can grow some more, because this is a man who should have a way larger fan base than he does. So congrats to Benny and all that's been going for him. And I'm going to give this album a 7 out of 10. So what were you guys' thoughts on this new Benny the Butcher project? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What were your favorite tracks? Let's have a discussion down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Got more videos coming. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Jason. This has been my take, and I'll see you next time.